Hello, I'm Emily Ketchen with Lenovo, delighted to be with you today here at CES. In 2020, connectivity became the emotive vocal point of our human interactions. As we traded in-person catch-ups for Zoom, classrooms for kitchen tables, and workplaces for Microsoft Teams, our connection with the world depended upon how many bars we had on our phones and our Wi-Fi strength. As we talk today, this is still the case in many corners of the world who are under shelter-in-place restrictions. In a turbulent year, we've seen the positive power connectivity has had to bring people together in amazing ways, to help people make a positive impact on society, and to help tell the stories of those whose voices are often not heard. Connectivity presents a window of opportunity, of freedom, and of belonging. The desire to connect and belong has never been stronger, and smarter technology can help seize these opportunities and drive human connection. While 3.5 billion people are now online, more work must be done to ensure that people are able to make better connections. We now have the technology in our hands, and we need to ensure that we are developing technology that meets our changed connectivity needs. This is why you'll be hearing more from Lenovo on 5G products this year. For everyone to benefit, we have a real responsibility to proactively level the playing field. This means looking at all barriers to entry, from economic and geographic accessibility to the development of inclusive devices for the global disability community. We need to channel the empathy that has sustained us through 2020 and decide that now is the time for us to ensure that everyone, everywhere, has equal access to the world of opportunities that connectivity creates. Technology has never been more critical lifeline in keeping us productive and connected than during the past year. For many, technology has always been a powerful tool in connecting people to share new perspectives, empower empathy, and shape the world for better. We'll begin the session with our guest, renowned activist and filmmaker Ava DuVernay. She worked alongside Lenovo on a bold project called New Realities, which included an innovative 360-degree virtual reality film series. New Realities invites everyone to see the world through the eyes of 10 young women who are using smart technology to connect and improve their communities around the world.
Have you ever thought about how young women see the world? How often do we hear from young women? What do they want from the future?
To change the world, we must act together.
I had to escape from my fears.
Get ready to have your mind blown by this 360 film series, New Realities. Innovative virtual reality technology means you can walk through a portal and hear from young women themselves.
When I feel like drowning in all of the bad experiences and all of the bad things I've gone through, I think about my mom, my sisters, my grandmothers, my Syrian aunts right behind me.
Together, the 10 stories build into a picture of an entire generation transcending borders, using smarter technology, and actively working for a better world.
We can seize this moment and make a difference.
This is a new generation offering a new reality, an alternative view of the world, and a different future. Don't take it from me. Hear it from the girls themselves. Watch the films in a headset or online at lenovo.com/newrealities.
Without further ado, please welcome activist and award-winning filmmaker Ava DuVernay. Thank you for joining us for the CES Spotlight to discuss the huge role technology has played within connectivity, both in advancing 5G and in forming human connection, especially during the pandemic. For the audience today, can you tell us why you wanted to get involved in Lenovo's New Realities project? And why was offering a platform and technology to these young women to find their voice and tell their narrative so important to you?
Well, thank you for having me, Emily. I'm happy to see you and be here with you today. You know, I really believe strongly in the connection between art and activism. You know, artists see a world that isn't there and make it so, and activists do the same. So when Lenovo, you know, activists see things, problems, things that need to be solved, realities that don't exist, and they make them so. So that connection between art and activism is so strong for me. It's something that I've felt personally and that drives me. So the idea of connecting those through technology really, you know, got me going. You know, this idea of immersive storytelling to give voice to young women who would be using these tools to make positive change was really irresistible. And I think that tech enables us to amplify our voice even further and farther, to cross-pollinate, you know, worldviews. This is a generation who is forging a new way of living. They're changing the world, and they need the tools to do that. And so to really be able to connect with these young women and guide them through the telling of their own stories using the power of technology for good was a win-win and a real pleasure.
Nice. So well said. Thank you very much. You know, interestingly, Ava, technology and empathy don't always go hand in hand. And some believe that while technology enables social networking skills, it's also threatening kind of our face-to-face human connections. Others blame technology for a rise in cyberbullying and exacerbating negative biases. But a central theme for Lenovo's New Realities project has been, as you rightly said, all about using technology to amplify the voices that we don't normally hear, because we believe that getting exposure to these new perspectives is essential to empathy and to growth. How can the technology community continue to bridge these two dichotomies between technology and empathy and make more stories from diverse voices more widely available?
Well, you know, technology, and it's a great question. Technology in itself is a tool and a solution. It's not good or evil. It's as good as the people who create it and use it. And so, you know, Lenovo is part of the engine, the apparatus, the folks who create it. And, you know, we have to get it into the hands of people who will use it for good. And so, you know, I think when we think about technology, we think about who has access. And that really creates an imbalance if more people, more kinds of people, more cultures of people, you know, an array of people have more access to these tools. You know, we can be better at listening to young women, people whose voices have been marginalized. And so it's important, it's vital, it's critical that we get these tools in the hands of more. And I think empathy will come from that. Because you have more than just one kind of person, you know, playing with, innovating with, pushing the creators to really let the technology adjust to what the needs of the world are. That's why I love that this program is called New Realities, and it really embraces that idea of a call to action for more people, especially the young leaders of tomorrow.
You know, Lenovo has a bold vision to lead and enable smarter technology for all. And it's really driven by the company's commitment to place the power of technology into the hands of more people and to improve everyday experiences such as staying connected, as you just referenced. I think the pandemic has really magnified the gap between those who have access to technology and connectivity for remote work, distance learning, and even telehealth, and those who do not. How can greater connectivity and accessibility to technology help more in need? And as a creator yourself, what do you see as the role of technology in today's world? And what words of wisdom do you have in really encouraging others to create the world that they want to live in?
Well, you know, that there's no question that tech and connectivity have been a lifeline, you know, during the pandemic for continuity in healthcare and education, and we all need to work harder at helping to close the divide between the privileged and the disenfranchised in that respect. And tech has a leading role
because of the ways that we communicate, the ways that we spread ideas, as we're doing right now. Tech is also a facilitator to the dreams and desires of people, and it helps us make things happen. It's an engine. So we, all of us, can use technology to help make sure it makes the right things happen. And I think that's a choice. It's a choice. It's a decision, and it is something that needs to be ongoing. This is a long process. It's a journey to find the right balance of the way that we use these tools and the way that we apply these tools. These young women that we worked with on the New Realities Project are using smart technology to connect, to amplify their voice, to make the world a better place for themselves and the people around them. I mean, they're using it in ways that perhaps the creators thought of, and in new ways that no one's ever thought of. And so we should be helping them and everyone like them in every way possible to have access to the tools, whether it's a pandemic or not, whether we're in a chaotic time or not. But I think the more we can, place these tools in the hands of vibrant voices and, kind of fresh perspectives, the more surprised we'll be. For me, when I think of technology, I think of possibility. I don't think of the bad. I think of all the hopes I have around the tools. And so this program has been a real pleasure to watch the tools in action.
That is fantastic. I love that vibrant voices. That's gonna stick with me. It's wonderful. Ava, thank you so very much for being a partner and showing how technology can be a connector and can help tell stories for a more empathetic world. Very grateful.
Well, thank you. My Tamita Ray and I, Allison Biggs, all of us who worked on this project really just enjoyed the process and learned a lot. So let's all keep learning. Thank you.
Keep learning. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Jess Smith. I am a 5th grade teacher in Central New Hampshire.
My name is Kareem Abulnaga, and I'm the founder and CEO of Practice Makes Perfect.
Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm a marine biologist from Austria, currently living here in the Philippines. Connectivity was, is, and will always be important to me.
Prior to the pandemic, I thought connectivity meant having an internet connection and maybe being on social media, having a couple of followers, following a couple of people back, but that was the extent of it. This pandemic has changed the way we think about connectivity, not just in our own lives, but at Practice Makes Perfect and beyond. Connectivity now is the way we conduct our business meetings. It's the way our mentors meet with their students day in and day out. It's the way we actually move the world forward.
It means the world to me to be able to connect with my students while they are in my room and then when they leave my classroom. This year specifically, COVID has kind of changed the way that I handle connectivity in relationships. COVID has had me have to think outside of the box.
When the pandemic hit, I couldn't really travel and temporarily work. The need to feel and to be connected became even more essential to me. It was really hard not being in the ocean and not planting any corals, but being in touch and planning future projects really helped me to stay positive. And actually great things happened in these uncertain times, which might have not happened under normal circumstances.
It's been so neat to watch the kids adapt to technology and use that technology to connect in different ways. It's not just a way where they text their friends anymore. It's now a way where they can show off their creativity and their knowledge and do things that they had never done before. And we as educators had never thought to have them do before. So I think the way that students have responded to this is absolutely beautiful.
In so many ways, connectivity today is life. Prior to the pandemic, it was okay to not be connected, or it may have been optional, and today it's mandatory. So as the world continues to evolve and shape, connectivity becomes more and more essential.
You've just seen some great examples of real change makers, from a teacher to a marine biologist who showed us how they're using technology to stay connected and to make a positive difference today. Now, let's take a further look at how technology and connectivity will evolve in 2021 and beyond. We're here with Lenovo PC and Smart Devices Chief Technology Officer and resident futurist, Daryl Cromer, to share with us what he's reading in the tea leaves. Great to see you, Daryl. We all know the pandemic has triggered large-scale disruptions in work, school, and social connections with lasting impact on everything from healthcare to education. While home has become the nucleus, for many of us, the pandemic has also been a positive catalyst in accelerating digital transformation for many businesses. How has connectivity played a part in keeping the world moving?
Thank you, Emily. It's good to see you again. I'm glad to share some thoughts with everyone. Connectivity has really triumphed over all the inconveniences of the pandemic. And it's the pandemic through this has really shown the importance of connectivity. It has made the shift to online and this essential work from home, learn from home, shopping, connecting possible. But even more important, it has accelerated the adoption of these online technologies by well over a decade. We are doing things now that we had never thought possible would be years out today going forward. For those of us who are fortunate enough to continue to work and learn from home, stay connected with our friends and family, we've gained a new appreciation for our PCs. It's really become our lifeline to the outside world. It's also highlighted this growing digital divide where a lack of access to connected PC means the difference between a student accelerating in school, or potentially falling behind. Connectivity really should be a right, not a privilege. More affordable devices and technology like 5G will give more people access, which is all part of Lenovo's vision of smarter technology for all. We've seen it change industries. A good example of this is telehealth. Overnight, they responded and went to virtual healthcare, which was really important because those who were very ill and had difficulty coming in, be exposed, were able to connect to their doctors online. It provided a safer environment for them. It also freed up critical resources for those who needed it the most. Very good. On the other extreme, PC gaming, that industry has thrived for good reasons. It's a safe way to stay connected, stay entertained, and be engaged while physically distant apart. We hope people will continue to connect more and more with each other and work to change the world for the better through this meaningful innovation.
That is great to hear. You mentioned 5G, and the pandemic has, I think, really increased an overall awareness around 5G. Could you talk a little bit about what you see in the short term versus the longer term trends around 5G for us?
Yes, no, you're right. The pandemic has definitely increased the awareness going forward. And the short-term and near-term benefits are very practical and well known. However, it's the longer-term impacts of 5G will truly be profound. So when we talk about over the next 5 years, it will change. One, it will change our personal computing devices. More PCs and tablets will have high-speed connections, will allow you to work, play, learn from anywhere. You're always connected, always on. And it gives you a freedom of reliance from Wi-Fi or hotspots. It'll be transformative. Also, we hear so much about needing multiple people in the household trying to stream high bandwidth connections. 5G will make that available, where home Wi-Fi's were stretched beyond their capacity. With 5G, we'll open it up and really change the learning environment at home as well. 5G has dramatic improvements in latency, reductions in latency, and higher bandwidth and faster speeds. This will allow us to work even harder. The ability to collaborate from across colleagues in the same city, countries will change. It will allow more cross-pollination of ideas and practices. Will change healthcare, education, medicine. And we'll see new technologies like augmented reality really come into place where you can experience and share the same experience with remote workers or friends going forward. We'll see more and more streaming in 4K and 8K. The use of augmented virtual reality will be commonplace. But also, this need for high quality video chats will become extremely important. And one I'm really looking forward to is real-time translation. So as I work with colleagues around the world, we'll be able to speak and communicate in our own natural languages, our own languages on that part. The other part will be things like remote diagnostics, which will be extremely important because all of us have become our own IT people during the pandemic. That will be important. We'll also play harder. These high-end cloud gamings with ultra-low latencies, the gaming industry will be able to benefit from new models and new games that will tie people together from different countries, different backgrounds. It will really help change how we socialize and get to know each other in a different way. The industries will also move forward. You'll see industrial and enterprise organizations build on-site 5G networks for mission-critical functions. As we move into the future of everything is connected, everything becomes an endpoint, we'll deploy more AI and machine learning to help our devices become smarter, more autonomous. It will transform industries from transportation to manufacturing. We're moving forward with 5G as well. We'll be announcing, in addition, we've already done the IdeaPad 5G. We'll be coming out with our X1 family. We'll have 5G enabled systems going forward to help move this forward.
People's demand from one PC per household to one PC per person, as well as expectations for better user experiences, have definitely gone up in the new normal. IDC has reported that the pandemic drove double-digit growth in the traditional PC market in the third quarter of last year. From consumption to creation, the PC today is really also about connectivity. How is personal computing helping us stay more connected and serving people's evolving needs, Daryl?
Yeah, that's a great question. You think about PC, a personal computer. I think it's changing. Today, we could possibly say it's the primary communication device. It is your lifeline to the outside world. It's also another way I think of it as the people's choice for communication. Since the pandemic, the home has become the nucleus, as you mentioned. And the PC is that communication device. There's this new renaissance of the PC. It's now our dominant device for day-to-day use. It's also our device of choice for collaboration and remote work or distance learning. We're seeing another trend occur. Instead of a shared PC where you have one PC per family that everyone uses, many homes are moving these multiple PCs where every family member has their own PC because it's so important. Schools, their reliance on PCs have changed, and going forward, and I joke with our kids today, they'll never see another snow day. It's absolutely no longer needed going forward. Work is also going to change. We're seeing, we're moving to this hybrid work model. We've demonstrated that you can be very productive while working at home, working remotely and collaborating. We've demonstrated that. So we're seeing that employees will have a greater say in their IT setups at home and as well as they work. New pain points have emerged going forward. Features that are extremely important now than they were before. Cameras, mics, audio quality, extremely important as we are connecting with each other. Display size, and of course, connectivity. We need those high quality connections. Lenovo's approach to innovation is also being reframed and refined a little bit. We're investing more time and attention in how to provide these immersive experiences and to meet the user's needs in this new normal on that part. A really good example of this is the Yoga All-in-One 7. It's an all-in-one desktop that takes up less space as a 27-inch display and 4K IPS display, a rotating hinge. It's very ergonomic. It's a perfect device to spend those long hours in front of your PC. And of course, we're rounding out the line with the Lenovo IdeaPad and Idea Center lines. These are great consumer options to address this new demand of one PC per person.
Zooming out to take a look at the bigger picture, can you talk a little bit about some of the broader technology trends that are on the horizon, those that are super exciting to you, and those that might be keeping you up at night?
Certainly. Necessity has been described as the mother of invention, and the pandemic has really taught us about new necessities and how we think about things differently going forward. And in every industry, what was essential has changed moving forward. Education has dramatically changed. Overnight, we catapulted students, teachers, administrators, and parents into this unknown territory of online learning, where schools and families needed new technology just to get through the school year. But going forward, the education industry is going to double down and create new technology to really respond and provide a much richer learning experience going forward. It'll be able to integrate technology into the teacher's instruction, delivery, virtual classroom management, collaboration, help classes and homework. All this will move forward dramatically and really improve the overall learning experience to make it much more collaborative and enriching. We'll see things like voice technology and computer vision. We'll really be able to customize and provide immersive experiences to meet each student's goals and needs and help them overcome their weaknesses and build upon their strengths. One thing I'm very excited about is how we're going to integrate sensory technology and spatial positioning into learning. When I was in school, everything was in a textbook, a 2D experience. Going forward, it could be a 3D immersive experience. They'll be able to interact with these models in real time. Rather than looking at a nucleus of an atom, you'll be able to be inside of that nucleus. This distance hybrid learning will help also boost esports education environments to help inspire students to focus on STEM, this very important learning, and maintain social engagement. We talked a little bit about work from home already, but it's really going to change a renewed focus on smart collaboration and office setup. A wide variety of companies, a range of companies have been talking to us about what's the new workspace going to look like going back into it. We're going to move the fact that employees will be working from home, working from anywhere, working from the office. We'll start seeing the traditional office really expand into periodic collaboration centers and hubs, where people spend part of their time at home, part of the time in the office. This new hybrid work model will be very exciting. It will require new technology and new ways of doing things, which we're very excited about. We'll see configurable workstations, which are very nimble with portable technology, allow employees to adapt to the surroundings and needs. I talked about healthcare. Healthcare is going to change dramatically. Telehealth is here. The ability to deliver healthcare remotely. It's extremely important. It will allow caregivers to provide access to more people. Using AI and machine learning will provide better quality of care. Things like rashes or certain conditions will be able to be diagnosed in your home with biometrics. You'll be able to detect a lot of your vital signs. It will really change how we think about healthcare in this country as well as in the emerging countries. Things like 3D bioprinting will also come along and expand, where you have the ability to print cells based on your genetics and DNA, which will allow medicine to test treatment to see which works better for you with immunotherapies going forward, or potentially even repair a damaged organ. Lots of cool things coming.
Wow. Excellent to hear. Daryl, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. So many exciting things that are happening and that are coming. We will definitely want to watch this space. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Connectivity means freedom, opportunity, and belonging. And connectivity has never been more important to ensure everyone, everywhere has equal access and a level playing field in today's world. This is why Lenovo creates technological tools for everyone, from surgeons to school children, so that through the power of connectivity, they have the potential to transform the world. You can hear us dive deeper into those topics in our second Spotlight session tomorrow, A Future of Meaningful Innovation at 9:45 Eastern Standard Time. Our CEO and Chairman, YY, will be speaking at that session, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we hope you stay safe and healthy wherever you are.